The predictions of what the weather's going to be. But, well, I've had my fair share this week, Ashley, to be honest, so we can make room for my co-host any time. Friday, August 21st, and I'm absolutely elated because we're going somewhere. Well, we haven't been there for a little while now, to be very honest. We're going to the UK. We're going to be joined by Gary Porter live right here at Galaxy. But first, let's do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm, and I'm absolutely elated to be joined live, coming out of the UK, by Gary Porter. Now, you know who Gary is because you've been requesting him. Yes, you have. Check this out. Here's Take It Back, right here at Galaxy. Yeah, that's a bit of me, Gary. I like that.
Well done, lovely. We're okay now. I've got to get your rules. We're off here, yeah?
Yeah, we're off
Facebook,
here.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
great. No,
But we're still on Facebook.
Yeah, but we're still on Facebook, so you can talk as dirty as you like. I don't mind. I really don't. For
Give
those
you
of you,
cheek.
yeah, sorry.
Give you cheek.
Give me cheek. Yeah, absolutely. Give me cheek. For those of you that have joined us live here on Facebook Live again this morning, got to say thank you so much. Later on, when you go and have a look at it on YouTube, don't forget, smash the likey button, the subscribe button, you know, yeah, and tickle that bell as well. Notifications. You know what I'm talking about. And today, I'm joined live by Gary Porter coming out of the UK. Which part of the UK are you in, Gary?
I'm very, very close to London. Very, very close to London. So I guess London would be the nearest place that you could like.
Well, you know, it's been a while since I've been to the Old Bailey, I've got to be honest.
you and me both.
It really has. But you know what I miss about London is the buses. I used to love riding on the buses in London. I really did.
Well, there's plenty of room at the moment, you know. There's
Apparently.
many people on the buses.
Apparently. So what's the take with the Royals at the moment, especially the young ones heading overseas?
Well, I don't know really. I think they're just cleared off, and I'm not really too sure, you know, the...
I think she thought she had an absolute gold mine that sort of, you know, vanished really quickly, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to halve my audience, you know. There's this sort of split decision over here. So.
Don't worry, I won't say a thing. I won't tell anybody, honest. But you know, we are big. I mean, we were colonialised by the English. I've got to be honest. We're not like Australians. We didn't get the prisoners. But we've got a very, very close tie to England, if you know what I mean, and Britain and stuff like that. So we love the Queen. We really, really do.
Oh, that's good to know.
You know,
she does well. She goes on. She ticks on like a diesel engine.
like your mother did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, the Queen Mother, my God, she was a good old age by the time she kicked off.
In the old do.
Yeah, we had the same birthday, you know, me and her, 4th of August.
Yeah, but you don't look as old as she did. Let's go live. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm. It is 13 after 11 o'clock, 24 degrees. Barbara's just cleaning the floor with me today, to be very honest with you. She wins, she does. Friday, August 21st, and, well, I'm absolutely elated to be joined live by Gary Porter coming out of, well, just out of London in the UK. Looking forward to that. Got to say hi as well to my good friend John Forster coming out of Dr. John's Unsigned Surgeries. And, well, I'm looking forward to the new magazine starting up midway through September as well. Really looking forward to that. And Gary, got to admit, we're on the cover.
Fantastic. That's great. That's not bad. Is that the first edition?
It is. It really, really is.
Oh, well, that can't be better, can it? That'd be great.
I think somebody pulled a few strings somewhere, somehow, to be able to get it done. But, you know, I'm absolutely loving it. Gary Porter, absolutely elated to meet you, my friend.
It's great to meet you too, and the lovely Barbara as well. It's a pleasure. Been looking forward to this for a long time.
Yeah, believe me, I've had a couple of communiques with you. Unfortunately, not as many as would have liked, but I told you the story about that. I just don't reply to people, to be honest. Never get a chance. I never get a chance, believe me. When I'm at work, believe me, it's full on. And today is no exception, actually. It's been quite trialing, to say the best. Loving the cup. Loving the cup. I really, really am. And
it's great. Spanish. Come from Spain. Come from there.
Yeah.
Cup.
Did you realise that when you hold it up from time to time, it does disappear because of the backdrop?
Okay, yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, I can see now. Yeah, in the top corner.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's sort of like you've got that invisibility thing going on.
Is it evaporating?
Yeah, exactly. You must be drinking fast because the cup's gone. Love that. Really, really do. Now, I've got to ask you, how do you know John Foster?
Well, we sort of met online. I can't remember if a couple of my tracks were sent out online, and we wrote, or we got in touch through Facebook, FaceTime. I did. And I had a little chat with him, what have you, and he seemed to like some stuff I sent him. I sent him one album, of a few I have, but I sent him one album which was sort of country-esque, and he seemed to find a slot for it. He said, yeah, you know, that's cool. So I got in touch with him really over the internet, and it's taken on a short space of time. It's had quite a few plays, you know, and so
nice.
we'll push the boat on it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. We play you here at Galaxy as well. John passed you on to us. He was absolutely hyper about it. He couldn't stop pushing Gary Porter to us, and well, we gave it a good listen. And I've got to be honest with you, Gary. It's not easy getting airplay and or an interview here at Galaxy. Barbara gets about 30 bands a day, and then how the hell she does it, but she also goes trolling the interwebbies thing and comes up with some absolutely stunning work. Then she takes it to production and Barbara sort of, well, they disagree a lot, let's put it that way, and then they whittle it down, because keeping in mind we've only got a certain amount of time per week that we can get these done, you know what I mean? Then
it's really appreciated, you know. It's a pleasure to be here. It's lovely to be here.
Well, it goes to a board after that, and there's, you know, giving on what day of the week the meeting's on. It could be 8 or 12 people. Now, they are only interested in one thing when it comes to music here at Galaxy, and believe me, they're all experts in their own minds, but never worked in radio at all. They're a vast, you know, but they're interested in our image. They want to make sure that we are playing the good stuff. Only the good stuff, you know what I mean? And well,
absolutely, yeah. Well, I've been listening to your show for the last couple of days, and you do play some great stuff. I mean, I love some of the stuff you've been playing. Yeah. And I think even through my audience, you know, you've gotten a few more fans as well.
Nice. Well, I got to be honest with you, Gary. You might need therapy after that. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Again, yeah, fair enough. I hope it's not the same therapist I had.
I think we're both wired up wrong, you know, Grant. I've just got this chemistry that we are on the same level.
Yeah. We are. Brothers from a different mother, that's what it is.
I think so, yes, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Gary, how do we get hold of you if we were a fan? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Gary, do you respond? I don't.
Well, I sometimes do myself. I'm like you very much, Grant. You know, my head's down in my studio, and I write and I do. And the more time I can do that, the better for me. I'm very lucky that I have a good agent by the name of Steve Dominy. So, you know, if we get inundated, then obviously he takes up the calls, but he'll respond straight away. You know, he's very good at that. And sometimes if I make contact myself, then I'll just pursue it myself. You know, it saves a three-way conversation, but we all tie up at the end anyway. So yeah, so it's on all platforms. I mean, they can get me on. I have two Facebook platforms actually. I have my personal one, which also has music on it. You know, and I have a Gary Porter Facebook, which is Gary Porter Music. And basically, Gary Porter Music is the platform on everything, and the website will be the 3 W's, garyporter.uk, and that's the main website. So
that's really cool. First of all, you shouldn't have said that you responded, or you have a guy respond. Believe me, going to work his ass off now. He's going to get so much work coming into him going, we want to talk to Gary Porter, we really, really do. So he's going to be texting all day, not going to have time to do that. Now, on your website, do you have a merch store?
yes, I do. Yeah, we have merch stores. We have the CDs in. We have hard copy CDs too. I know they don't sell so much nowadays. Maybe the CDs. A few people still want to buy them, but we have them hard copy, and we have the T-shirts and the usual. You know.
Nice.
It's all on the website. Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you more about the that kind of stuff a little later on down the track. But first of all, we kicked off the show with Take It Back. Now, tell me a little bit about it. Gary Porter, how did you come to the lyrics?
Well, first of all, I suppose right from the start, from the initial start, what happens is with me, it's a process. And the only way I can describe it is it's like a letter coming through your letterbox. That concept. Yeah, I have no control on that. It's just like picking up a letter from your letterbox. You open the letter, then you've got to see it through, and that was the same. Take It Back was quite from memory. I think it took just a short time to write that one. There's no rationale, you know. That's all I can say. But all I can say is that with most of the songs, if it's not there by the following morning, if it's not there, if I sleep on it, it's very rare. That would be classed as maybe like a tax letter from the Inland Revenue or something like that. You know, as a brown envelope, you don't want those ones. I want plenty of white envelopes. So, but that's sort of like the initial process, and that might come from either a lyric, it could come from an observation. When I'm out looking, I'm always observing. I'm good at observing things, you know, in situations with other people. And it's quite funny, really, you know, Grant, because when you put a song out, as you know, people identify you with the song. And so all of a sudden they think they know your life story, you know, from when in actual fact it's someone else. They haven't got a clue, you know. I'll give you an example. I wrote a song a few years ago. It was called Emily, and for anyone that was listening to it, it would sound like it was an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife or something like that. But I generalise them so it appears to the public and the masses. And it was actually about my grandmother, you know. But if I was to define the song about my grandmother, then it wouldn't have much, you know, in the media it wouldn't have much attraction. So you just change the lyrics about, try and make them as vague as I can. With a storyline, I always try and put a couple of lines in that that get people to think. And yeah, you know, I mean that's how they come about. And Take It Back was really a couple of people not getting on too good, local that we know, and I was sort of observing stuff, and I come up with a few lines and the lyrics, and then just put the thing together. Yes, it's strange. I mean, it's sometimes in the morning, sometimes early. It could be when I'm having breakfast. Could be having lunch. there is no rationale, and I'm sure that's the same for many songwriters. You know, you do get the guys that do the 9 to 5. You know, that's not a bit of me though, Grant. You know, I can't. I have a short attention span. I'm hyperactive, and it doesn't work for me, that one. You know, very spontaneous. So that's the way it works for me, anyhow.
You know, I get it. I really do get it. And well, I over the years that I've been doing this, Gary. A lot of the artists that say, hey, listen, it was written down in 5 minutes on a McDonald's napkin, they have the longevity. They are the ones that last the longest sometimes. And I think, you know, Take It Back has the potential of that. I really do. But at the same time, it is a kind of crazy time right now with this COVID-19 thing going on.
Sure.
Obviously, there's not a lot of concerts going on. Are you now more concentrating on writing and recording?
Absolutely. From day one, I think it was around February, everything, we sort of gotten to know that everything was going to be cancelled. And then one by one, they were going down like dominoes. So from that point, really, we were on lockdown like I guess you guys were and most of the world. And I have to, you know, I just can't sit. I can't do any, you know, nothing. So went straight in the studio, and a pal of mine, one of the musicians, I use like a pool of musicians, and so depending on what genre of music I'm writing, I can give them a call and say, you know, well, one of my good pals, Mick Cope, he was one of the first band I ever got together. He was my first bass player, if you like, or we teamed up. He was quite near to me, but we're still studio or shed to shed, whatever you like to call it. I give him a call and I said, look, I've got some songs because I'm itching and need to do something, stop me going insane. And I said, to be fair, I said, they're not really in the line that I'm pushing out at the moment. I said, they sound more like Crisis Day songs, which was the name of the old band that we started off. So I said, look, I'm up to about 7 or 8 now. I said, do you want to put them together? So he goes, yeah, that'd be good, and it gives a good chance as well to use the internet fully. I mean, I'm not a technophobe, but I'm a little bit like you, the same. I'm very hands-on. I like to play the instruments and sing. You know, I don't like to spend too much of my time getting there. You know what I mean? And Mick's very good at that. So he said, okay, send them over. So we literally did it from my studio to his studio. He uses Pro Logic, which is a good system to use, getting most studios now anyway. And he also puts the videos together. So we've done, like in lockdown, which has been 3-4 months, we've done something like 11, 12 new songs with videos. We've been really busy, sometimes up till 1, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I mean, the clock doesn't mean much to me, and you don't get clocks in studios anyway, or not the ones I've worked in, you know. Exactly. I mean, I'll give you a funny example. I'm not going off a tangent, but a little story I can tell you is that when I was in the Texas Central Productions, where I made this album with Pete Thompson, I'd not long gotten off the plane. I was about 2 days in. And we was in the studio, there's no natural light, there's no windows, and there's no clocks. And due to the jet lag, I wasn't really sure what it was. I said to Pete, I said, look, I want to nip outside for a minute. I said, I've got to go outside. And I remember in my head, I had it fixed that it was about 2 or 3 in the morning, it were going to be pitch black. And as I went through the door, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, about 30 odd degrees, and bright as you like, you know. That's how it is, isn't it, in the studio?
Believe me, and I've done many sessions like that. I really have. Been an engineer, studio engineer myself, also a front of house engineer. Travelled around the world with a couple of named bands over the years. So believe me, when I heard your music, I don't listen to music as a fan would listen to it. I listen to it as an engineer, as a DJ, as a promoter would listen to music. Yeah, sure. And, well, quite frankly, Gary, I can't fault your work. I love your work. I really do.
That's a lovely compliment, and I really appreciate that, Grant. That's great. That's Yeah, that's a lovely thing to say.
Well, if you survive this interview, I'm going to ask you at the end of it if you would come back again. Something to think about right now, because you may just not want to be honest with you.
I'm sure I will.
Well, you know, it could be misunderstood blues, really, couldn't it? Tell me, good segue. Tell me about misunderstood blues.
Misunderstood blues. Okay, I was over in the Texas Central, and I'd had about something like about 15 tracks, I guess, and I was going to pick some to put on the album. We narrowed it down to 10, I think it was. And Misunderstood Blues was in a different style, different format. And I remember sitting up with Pete one night. We didn't have much time off, you know. We really cleaned the studio from start to finish. And I remember sitting up and I said to him, this needs a different style. The lyrics, everything works, the song works. I said, but it's not sitting right. And the beauty of it was for me, and one of the reasons why I sort of jumped at the chance when I was invited to go over there, is that I was using the American guys, the American musicians. And with that in mind, when we come to arrange it, I said, you need something else. And it was, that day, we'd just gone down, I think it's called the Jacksboro Highway, which was renowned for all the old Al Capone people, you know, in the 30s, what have you, Dillinger and all them, you know, and it had this sort of like gangster themes. I'm definitely wired up wrong, but I had this gangster theme going through my head, and it, dun, 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 like some old 50s program, you know, on the TV. Anyways, we arranged it like that, and I mean, half of that's down to Pete as well, you know. I mean, he had that injection in the arrangement with it, and yeah, for me it worked. I mean, we tried a couple of different versions of it, and just picked that one because I liked it. I thought it was, you know, it seemed to work okay.
Now, just before we play that, we want to cover the name Made in Texas. Obviously, that's the name of the album, but really, was it Made in Texas?
Yeah, it really was, yeah. It was made in Fort Worth. Pete's originally from England, the owner, Pete Thompson. You may have heard of him. He was Robin Trower's drummer for many years. And he also played with Robert Plant. I believe he got either gold or platinum, I've seen it in there, for the Fate of Nations album. Okay. And so, you know, he's played with a few, he's a great session guy, and he moved over to Texas and built the studio. And while he was over in the UK one time, he called round and he said, look, he said, I'd like to invite you over there. I played him a couple of songs. He said, I'd like to invite you over there, he said, and come record. I said, well, I can't take the whole band over there. I said, but I'd be interested if you got the American guys over there, because then I can put an American slant on my stuff. Which, not putting down the guys over here, but I just wanted that particular feel and sound, if you know what I mean. And so I said, who can you get? So he said, well, he said, Buddy Whittington. He said he had just packed up playing, I think, with John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. They was off for... we tried to tie it up anyways, and then for some reason, that was a couple of years ago. For one reason, I think they either branched off another tour, but Buddy wasn't available. Then I was trying to coordinate everything myself as well. I was playing here, there, and what have you. Obviously, his studio's booked in, and probably a bit like this interview. You know, you got to wait for your window, and that's it. Anyways, I get a call about a year later, and he said, Buddy's playing over here with John Mayall, and we went to see it. You know, I was about to go see it. And just before the concert started, before John came out, Buddy got on the mic. He said, "Is there a Mr. and Mrs. Porter here?" Which is obviously. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, one thing," he said, "I want to wish you a happy anniversary." And he said, secondly, he said, "Pete's looking forward to you coming over, and I'm going to play on your album." And I thought that was great, you know. And see him half time. That's the first time I've met And lo and behold, yeah, when I went over there, true to his word, you know, he he was there. There's some other great guys over there, though. I mean, I had very privileged. I had another guy, a guitar troubadour, the legendary Rodney Pyatt. He's a great guy. Did a lot of guitar work on the album. Absolutely fantastic. Shannon Day on keyboards. Randy Reitz, you know, has played with sort of everyone and everything. I mean, fantastic keyboard player. And Pete himself, you know, what a drummer to have on there. I was very blessed. I pinched myself, I must admit, you know, it was great.
Well, that just took the fire out of it, because I was going to announce and give a shout out to your band as well. Literally, I got the names here, but well done. At least you remembered their names. You really did. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Coming out of London live is Gary Porter with Misunderstood Blues. How you feeling, Gary? You okay?
Yeah, great, mate. Yeah, lovely.
Nice. Tell me something. Have you ever tried vegan sausages?
Vegan sausages?
Yeah.
I had some chicken sausages the other day. That wouldn't be classed as vegan, would it?
No. Well, you know, I was just...
I haven't, mate. No, I haven't.
Okay, I was just wondering if they're made of real vegans.
Well, it's strange. My wife has allergies, food and what have you, and she has different food for me, you know. So I eat different, and I'm very much into just on very diet. There's nothing that I don't eat, so you know I'm lucky in that respect. But yeah, I've never tasted vegan.
Well, I got to be honest with you. My wife only has one allergy. It's me. It's true. It really is. By the way, you might see me make funny body gestures every now and again over this side. That's because I actually do have a voice in my head that gives me stats, information, bits, pieces. It's my wife. Yeah, I married her. So my wife really is the voice in my head. But she lucked out. They pay her for the job. I don't know how the hell that happened. By the way, have a look on your Facebook thing for Nut Enough. She'll probably send you a few backstage photos.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic.
She'll take as
well.
well.
I got some, I was going to send you some stuff too, you know, when we pack up. I mean, I have sort of albums here and what have you, and T-shirts. I mean, I'm going to send you some over, so you let me know your sizes and stuff like that. And I'll send you some goodies in a goodie bag.
I'll get Barbara onto that for you, bro. Believe me.
Yeah,
we would love to do a giveaway. Keep Gary Porter rolling here. It's all about keeping your name going. You know what I mean? Keep it in our audio audience's mind. They go and buy your products. They really do. At the same time, if you've got a T-shirt, believe me, they do go and look. You know, for some reason when they're doing the Facebook Lives and all that sort of stuff, they go and find out who exactly I'm wearing. And then they get on the interwebby thing, and before you know it, you've sold a T-shirt and a couple of koozies.
Just send some over. Don't worry about that.
Awesome.
I'll get Steve Dominy working a bit more, you know, Grant.
I like it. Let's whip this guy's ass.
Yes.
Sorry, Steve, if you're ever going to see this, I apologise now, but you're going to work. Let's go back to the desk.
Take my time,
That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM, 23 minutes after 12 o'clock. Away from 12 o'clock, almost 12. Yeah, 19 degrees downtown. And Well, Barbara won anyway, so the race is over and done with, to be honest with you. But the weatherman, again, didn't stand a chance. He never does. Really. He never does. Open for failure, that man. Got to be honest. Friday, August the 21st, and glad to have everybody joining us. 62 countries around the world this morning. 94 cities are joining us, and it is an absolute pleasure to have each and every one of you joining us here at Galaxy. It really is, because I'm elated. We've got Gary Porter with us, coming out of the UK, just out of London. And, well, Gary, believe me, I absolutely love your style of music. Now, I hear music every day, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, sure.
it's refreshing to hear something that I don't hear every day. And that's what I like about your music, you know what I'm saying? I absolutely love to play you. Here at Galaxy, I play you in the breakfast show. We've got a special show that we play you on Tuesday night. Also a Monday night as well with the Galaxy artists. So believe me, you're getting a fair shot. Now, I've got to be honest, we kind of tested the water a little bit. We played the music without announcing anything about you, anything like that, just to see what the response would be from our audience. And believe me, it blew up the internet. They wanted to know more about you. They wanted to know who it was, the name of the song. They wanted to know if you were married.
Well, yes, I am. I'm happily married to lovely Susie, yeah. And she's the voice in my head too. Probably like yours, Grant, if you know what I mean. And yeah.
Yeah, I give mine a couple of titles, you know, home executive, but she really is the on-air producer, and, well, she does give me all sorts of information. She really does. But God love her, I wouldn't do my job without her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Now, at the same time, I couldn't do my job if there wasn't people like you, and I really am humbly thanking you for being the artist you are, for being the songwriter that you are, and being the recording artist that gets it out to places like us, especially to John Foster, who passed you on to us, and I've got to thank John for that. So what I'm saying basically is, and I'm going to ask you, have you ever maybe considered possibly coming to New Zealand and playing in front of New Zealand audiences?
That would be great. I'd love to. I mean, look, we've got 64 countries listening or what have you, and
62.
I mean, out of 7 million viewers or something approach, or whatever we're talking. So I reckon there must be some of your promoters or one of your sponsors that might be interested in getting us over. It could be solo, or it could be with the band. I mean, if I brought the band over, it would be a very good show. I can guarantee you that. That would be great. Come over solo, but yeah, come over the band. I'd love to do that. You know, we could incorporate probably New Zealand and Oz, I suppose. That would be the one, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, believe me, I was thinking about maybe 5 shows here in New Zealand, up and down the country. We're made up of 3 islands. Right down the bottom, we have Stewart Island. Then whoever named New Zealand run out of, you know, imagination and went south. And then North Island. We're in the North Island, actually, on the east coast of the North Island, which sees the light of day first in the world every day. And
sorry, cut in there, you know, Grant, but lest I forget, while you're talking about geography of your country, there's a very good friend of mine that used to live over here, and I know he went back to New Zealand, and I'd love to give him just a quick shout if I can. His name's Brad Sinclair, so I'm sure he'll be listening because he was on my Facebook earlier. So, Brad, if you're listening, it'd be great to see you again. Maybe if I come over and do a tour or something, we'll go to one of those our places that you told me about. And,
that sounds interesting. I want to go there too now.
Well, you come with us as well, Grant. You're a legend. You've got to come with me too. And it'll probably be like the studio, you know. You come out the door when you think it's going to be dark and it'll be light, what have you. But we'll have a good time, I guarantee you that.
I like it. Do you know where in New Zealand he is?
I think it was Auckland.
Okay, well, he's in lockdown then, to be honest with you. Level 3 there, level 2 for the rest of the country, only because we like to keep Aucklanders where they belong, in Auckland.
Okay.
Well, having said that, I'm an Aucklander as well. Same with 90% of the staff here. They all followed me down from Auckland to set up the station here. purely economical reasons, to be honest. We could do this anywhere in the country, including Auckland, but we decided, no, bugger it, we're going to get the hell out and go somewhere more appealing, let's put it that way. You know, and we're surrounded by cities, actually. We have Rotorua to one side, Whakatane to another, a port city called Tauranga, which, well, we're a milling town where we are. We have about 5,000 people. You know, not overly big, but we've got plenty of city around us, so we can go anywhere we want, anytime.
That's great. So maybe next year, I mean, obviously depending on COVID, but maybe next year, you know, pick up 5 gigs over your place and then short hop over the... I say short hop, it looks like that on the map, but it's probably longer than that, and it's Australia.
About 3 hours if you're going by plane, but
That's not so bad.
it's a long swim on a shark.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
It really is. But yes, let's do about, 6 to maybe 8 shows in Australia, only because we like their money, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I just want to keep my agent busy, you know.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Steve, you are so going to work. You really are, my friend, you really are. But having said that, coming to New Zealand, are you up for a few challenges?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I like this, I really, really do. Because we have a few traditions that we do here in New Zealand, I've got to be honest with you. And one of them is, have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
A hoo-hoo grub?
Yeah.
Is that like a witchetty grub or something like that?
Is it? Yeah, kind of. I've never heard it described as a witchetty grub, but okay, let's go there. It's big, it's white, it's got a black head. You know what a caterpillar is, right?
Yeah, like a big giant blown up caterpillar, something
Yeah,
like that.
it's like a double-decker bus to a mini.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, okay, well, what you do here, and believe me, the indigenous folks, the Maori, still have them as a delicacy today. They would have loved Barbara's tree just a couple of days ago.
Okay.
It was riddled with the bloody things, I've got to be honest with you. Killed the tree altogether. But the Maoris have it as a delicacy here in New Zealand. What you do is you put the live body, and we'll give you the instructional videos so that you know we're not pulling your leg. Rip off the head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky. But when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
Well, I've eaten something similar. I don't know what we call them, but they're full of protein, and it sounds good to me anyways.
Yeah, it is. Believe me, I've done the white worm thing with the tequila as well. And but I've had many of these. Down the South Island, the west coast of the South Island, there's a place called Hokitika. And they have a wild foods festival. And, well, to be quite honest with you, Gary, they deep fry stuff you just really shouldn't deep fry. You know what I mean? They really do. Most people are familiar with the candy floss and the hot dogs on a stick. Yeah, not there. You might see kids wandering around with a deep fried locust or something on a stick. More like it.
Oh, talking of food, can I tell you a quick little story about that? It involved tequila too, which you reminded me of. And we went to Mexico, and they had this tequila tasting table sort of thing where they had these very expensive bottles of tequila, and they were expensive. And anyways, I had a little tiny nip of one, a little shot, and I actually bought a bottle of tequila that was brewed in vats, oak vats, which is unusual for tequila, but that's why I bought it anyway. It tasted very nice. That evening, we went into a restaurant. It was the last restaurant we'd been in on a complex in Cancun. So I just bought them this bottle of tequila, and we went into this restaurant, and the guy kept smiling at me, and I said to my wife, Sue, I said, the guy keeps smiling. I said, he keeps looking over and smiling. She said, that's the guy who sold you the tequila a little while ago. I said, okay. So I was at the point where I was just practicing my best Spanish, so I wasn't very inept there. And I got all in a panic and a fluster, and I got my words muddled up, and instead of saying I don't want much, I told him I want everything. Todo, senor. And with that, he'd come out with 6 plates of food, right? Now my wife eats like a bird. She won't mind me saying that. She's very healthy, what have you. She doesn't eat a lot of food. So I have 6 plates of food come up on this. And as you know yourself, it is very refried beans. It's very stodgy. It's very filling. I've eaten these 6 plates of food against my wife's sort of half a plate of food. I'm thinking, Christ, I'm stuffed now. You know, this is going to do for me. Mr. Porter, do you want anything? Todo, I'm saying. Todo. Ah, see, todo. So the next thing, I think I'm done, you see. We've had 6 plates. I thought that's a lot. Well, all I can say is I looked up at the back of the restaurant and the same guy smiling and grinning at me come towards me with a whole entourage of waiters and waitresses behind him. And all I can describe it to you is that it was like an old-fashioned magic trick on a wheelie trolley with a curtain round it. He come out with gravy boats, a light, tipping these gravy boats upside down, pushed this trolley towards me, opened up this big chrome dome on this huge plate, and with another 4 or 5 plates of food, and I thought we were done. And I looked at my wife and I said, "Oh my God!" And I had to eat it. I went through it. It was I went through the card, and at the end I'm still saying to the guy, "Todo," and he's filling up with beers and it was an experience, Grant. Anyway, but it could only happen to me.
En masse.
And you took me off when you was talking about tequila.
No worries. And we used to say en masse over there.
One more.
Yeah, absolutely. One more. My experience, I got to be honest with you, Puerto Vallarta, we went there, had a great time. Then we got on the plane and went to Medellin. And
Okay.
we didn't actually get out of the airport without being tackled by the police.
Right.
Literally, we were standing there, we gathered our bags, we were heading out the door. About 20 cops just bounced all over the 8 of us that were there at the time. We were all part of a band that were going to do a show there, thinking, my God, what's going on? Are we being arrested or something like that? But what they'd done is they all jumped on top of us. There was a gunfight going on just outside the door.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're sitting there looking at each other going, "Ticket, please." We're out of here. We're going home. Literally, we didn't actually get into Medellin at all. We literally got on the next flight, gone, out of there. And apparently, it was one of these drug lords was kicking up a bit of a stink at the time.
Okay.
So
Should have thrown one of those, what are they called, hula things at them? Should have thrown through those witchy grubs at them.
didn't have any on hand at the time, to be honest. Didn't think we weren't worried about being caught with copious amounts of drugs or anything like that, but, smuggle in a hoo-hoo grub, you might be jailed for life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even hoo-hoo drugs have feelings,
Well, yeah, I suppose they do, really. I think Barbara sent you a copy of one of the hoo-hoo grubs that came out of her tree that her girlfriend was eating. Yeah, believe me.
I will.
That hoo-hoo grub will need therapy. It really will after that. But now, I want to talk to you about A Blink of an Eye, because
Sure.
this is part of your album as well, a very big part of an album that you had produced a little earlier on, wasn't it?
It was. I recorded it once before as a piano arrangement. While I was over in Texas, I played it to Pete. To recap what we were saying earlier, I was giving you the rundown of my material when I write, observation and this, that and the other. Having said that, there's probably about 3 songs, I guess, that I've written. 6, 7 albums worth, what have you. There's only 3 songs that were personal to me. And Blink of an Eye, I actually wrote when my father passed away. And it was a tribute to him. It's like in the lyrics, mirrored smile. We look very much similar, we look very much alike. And I had his photo on the wall just out there, and he would be about the same age on that photograph as I am now, and my mother's still around. She'll say, well, anyone will tell you, we're almost identical. There's a very, very likeness. So I got my words and my lyrics from that. And that was probably, let's say, about 3 songs personally I've written that are personal to me, and that was one of them. And I played it one evening when I was around Pete's in Texas, in Fort Worth. And he said, "That's a nice song." He said, he said, I don't want to put anything with it. And I said, what do you mean? He said, no, he said, I just want you to play that with the guitar, just acoustically and play it. He said, and he said, let's put it on the album. He said, you know, it's sitting with the others. So, I mean, that's what we did. But that's where the song derived from. Anyway, it was, you know, it's a good song for me.
I like it. I really, really do. So live here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined by Gary Porter, the man himself. Here's a blink of an eye right here at Galaxy. How you feeling, Gary? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. Yeah, great.
Nice, nice.
Gosh.
Good God. Well, the critic is asleep. Sorry, we've got one of the guard dogs in the studio with us right now.
Okay.
We've got two, and she decided that she wanted to come in and join me this morning. And well, you know, she can be friendly to people that she knows, but if she's on duty, yeah, I wouldn't want to run into her in the dark. And she's sitting there snoring. Oh, she's woken up now. She was sitting over there snoring before, and I'm going, I can hear her in my headphones. Yeah, big heifer lump. Yes, you are. Her name's Sophie. Believe me, she's huge. Huge dog.
What breed is it, Rob?
Bull Mastiff.
Blue nose.
Okay.
Blue nose pit bull, bull mastiff cross.
Wow, yeah, that's a good guard dog.
I wouldn't want to try and pick her off the ground. Let's put it that way. She's big. She really, really is. So
Why don't you call her up for a sec?
no, she's fine now. I don't want to wake her up too much.
No, she's, yeah.
You know what she's like? Everything's 90.
Yeah.
Everything she does is at 90. So it's nice to have her sleeping. She works through the night, you see, doing the patrol and everything.
Okay.
There's two of them.
Are you quite isolated there, or?
No, we're in the CBD, and well, I've got to be honest with you. We have an element in this town that is undesirable, so we just make sure that.
Oh, that's a shame, right?
Yeah, well, it happens in every town, city, and whatever. You know, there's a certain element.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
with the amount of equipment that we've got here.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough. There's usually one or two staff that work odd hours, and that's usually me as well. I get into work some mornings about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Some mornings, some evenings, I'm lucky to leave before 10, 11 o'clock at night. So, dedicated to the job, I've got to be honest. I wish they would pay me more, but I am dedicated to the job. But other times I can get out of here by about lunchtime, spend time with the family, do stuff, and then come back in about 1 o'clock in the morning and continue on and work. And it takes, because sometimes, believe me bro, I understand what it's like for you over there, because I've got to be over here talking to people in the UK and stuff like that, different time zones around the world. So it takes a bit. And of course Barbara, she works tirelessly to set up these interviews and stuff like this. So from
Well, you make a good team.
She makes the team. I'm just me. I don't know how they put up with me here. You don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps.
Oh, different cut.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. 3 away from 12 o'clock, 21 degrees downtown, cloudy, gloomy, unicey, but we'll get there. We're going to take it. We really, really are. Coming into a brand new weekend. Friday, August 21st, and Gary Porter's joining us live just out of London in the UK. Bit of a magician too. I noticed that he's changed the cup.
I've gone from my Spanish cup. Let's have a look. I've got my Spanish cup here, which has now totally evaporated, and I'm on my I'm on my English teacup now.
That's the one with the little bit of special something something in it, is it?
That's the one with ingredient X, we call it, Grant.
Right, yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I got it, yeah. It's like an Irish coffee. Now, I asked you earlier on about vegan sausages and were they, made of real vegans, which makes you wonder now about Irish coffee and what do they put in that?
It's going to be Irishman, isn't it?
Yeah, gotta be. Ground, like baby oil. How many babies goes in a bottle?
Yeah, absolutely, I'm with you,
Yeah, let's reduce those suckers down. Yeah, get that one. It's kicking. Twig. You're familiar with James Bond?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Are you familiar with the new James Bond?
Well, we haven't seen the... Do you mean the current one, Daniel Craig, or do you mean the new James Bond film?
Yeah, no, the brand new James Bond that's going to be replacing Daniel Craig.
I haven't heard of it, so it's going to be a surprise to me if you tell me.
Okay, well, I'll let you know about this, and then I'm going to take you back to New Zealand and doing a tour in New Zealand, because I think that's rather interesting as well. But Daniel Craig, of course, making his last James Bond movie, broke his ankle, and he was down for about 12 weeks. Now, the problem with that is the expense of everything involved. I mean, everything stops. You know what I mean? The leading man is laid up. Therefore, no filming, no this, no that. So the owners, the franchise owners, the management and everybody got together and decided, we're going to change James Bond. We're going to make James Bond, the new James Bond, a female. Now, Now, the world went crazy, Gary. They really, really did. They says, hey, listen, you can't do that. Ian Fleming wrote James Bond as a man. Leave Moneypenny where she is. She's okay, but don't make a Jane Bond. So you know what they've done? They've compromised. He's now gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what they're going to call him?
Way to go, go on. I'm sure you're going to tell me.
07.
Very good. Very good on that.
Actually, the truth behind the matter is he's actually going to be black.
Okay.
And that's the truth behind the matter. And absolutely elated about that. It's going to put a new twist to James. You know what I mean?
It certainly will, yeah.
I think the last time they had a black undercover agent, I think it was Felix Leiter way back in the day with our truck driver, Fred.
Yeah, okay.
Way back then, actually. I think that was the last time they used a real black man in the show. But my thing is this: if you're going to put a female in, why not have a decent female crim? I mean, back in the day, of course, they had Grace Jones perform in there, if you know what I mean. And
yeah, that's right.
So I think it's time to bring back a good female criminal again, don't you?
I think I totally agree, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them out there.
Never trust a woman. Never do that, no. Believe me, even my wife lied to me and says, yes, I'll marry you. Then she did.
Okay.
She regrets every minute of it ever since. She knows it.
Well, I'm sure she doesn't.
No, she's smiling, she's nodding, she's right, I've got it right.
It's alright, I'll whoop him later.
She's going to whoop me later. And she will. She will. Now, I want to bring you back to New Zealand because we got as far as the west coast of the South Island. Now, just down from there is a little boutique city, town kind of place. It's where all the A-listers go from around the world to get away from all their friends, take their mates. You know what I mean? And this place is called Queenstown. Now, Shania Twain owns property down there. A lot of the A-listers go there just to party up. Tom Cruise was down there. Kevin Costner was down there not so long ago. Keanu Reeves. You know the type, right? You never know who you're going to bump into. But you don't want to bump into me. Because I'll throw you off a bridge.
Okay.
I got a friend down there that, well, he brought in and introduced to New Zealand the bungee jump.
Right. Okay.
So,
is that where did that originate from there? Wasn't it?
yes, it did. Yeah, he did. And
So, something at the back of my brain cells tell me that that's where it was originated from.
exactly.
You wasn't the pioneer, was you?
He was of the particular bungee jump, but he wasn't the first to do these things because, let's not forget, he got the idea from some, I think, Maasai warriors or something that used to prove their manhood by jumping off this big structure with
Yeah, see. that.
vines on their ankles. They used to break their legs and all sorts of things.
Yeah, did you see the one where they did it after it had been raining and the vines had stretched and the first one down went, and that was it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Miscalculation for the nation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, believe me, I've spent many, many years talking to AJ about the concept of how he come to the concept of bringing this to New Zealand. And absolutely fantastic. It really, really is. Great guy. And at the same time, you're not Australian, we'll attach the bungee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
nice. Let's not worry about the Australians. I like that. Most people go, oh, Grant, you can't say that. No, I do, often. I really do.
Remember, he's
Australians
one of
are
the
used to me
rugby
giving them
people.
stick by now. Again, we like their money. But having said that, we'll also put you on the swing-out chair, which goes right out over the canyon and stuff like that. Absolutely stunning views. It really, really is. Once you stop screaming, of course.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mind that. You know, I'm into all that. It doesn't bother me. I love that.
Nice. Have you tried parachuting? Are you into skydiving?
I'm not. I haven't done parachuting. No.
Okay,
I
well,
haven't.
I've done it for about 37 years now, so I don't mind throwing you out of a perfectly good plane as well.
Okay. That's it.
Like it, I do.
I'm gonna be in my element, aren't I? This
Yeah.
is gonna be cool.
Absolutely.
Gonna be the
Absolutely. Now, at the same time, getting you over here in New Zealand, will you be bringing your wife with you?
Yes, I will. I mean, she comes with me most places we go. But the nice thing is when we're if we're away, if we're abroad, or if we're local, what have you. Invariably, the band will go back. Maybe I'll stay for another couple of 3 days or something like that. And we have a busy schedule, like I was saying before, and it gives us both a chance to have a look round, and that's the beauty of music, we're very blessed and very lucky to be in that industry, because if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't ordinarily go to certain places just to have a look at them. And so in that respect, I mean, it's great. So that's what we'd normally do. We'd normally go do a bit of sightseeing and have a good look round, and that's when I'm not obviously out with the hosts of the radio shows,
Yeah,
and,
exactly. But having said that, does she like shopping?
Yeah, my wife likes shopping. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll get her teamed up with Barbara. Barbara's an Olympic shopper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she knows how to suck the zeros off a credit card, believe me.
Okay.
She really does. And believe me, it'd be a great day for the girls, it really will. But having said that, are you into wine?
Yeah, I don't mind a drop of wine, really, now and again. It's
Okay, because there's a couple of wineries we would love to be able to show you around as well. Take a sample of the goods and everything like that. And
Yeah,
believe me, there's
absolutely.
some absolutely world class coming out of the South Island, especially down Marlborough Sound, and love that place. Marlborough Sound, pretty much like time forgot, to be very honest. You can still see the dinosaurs walking through there. I know you can. Mum was there the other week. She's going to hit me as well when
you're in big troubles now, Grant.
I am a marked man, I tell you. But I live my life as you got to be dangerous. If you don't make the heart.
Live on the edge.
Yeah,
You've got to live on the edge.
exactly. And well, you know what a rolling pin's like, eh? Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was surprised that today's teenagers don't know what a jug cord is.
What a
I was talking to a friend of mine. My friend says to me, "That little bugger needs a jug cord," and the kid goes, "What for? I'm not making a coffee." self-explanatory, really, isn't it? It's the sign of the times. It really, really is. Now, at the same time, are you familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Well, I'll tell you how familiar I am with that. My wife likes Lord of the Rings. I've seen it over in Canada. I've seen it here. I've seen it a couple of places, and the longest I lasted without falling asleep was about 5 or 10 minutes, I think.
I'm going to tell Peter that.
I got nothing. I got nothing. Nothing against hobbits or anything like that at all. But it's just my attention span. I just can't do the Lord of the Rings. It's too intense for me. I can't make head nor tail of it. I don't know who's who, and not for the want of trying. But in actual fact, I almost lived in almost stayed in a hobbit place. We was over in Spain last year. I was over in Spain, Grant, and we normally stay at this particular hotel. Unfortunately, it was full, and so we hired this sort of 2-bedroom apartment thing, which only I can describe to you as a hobbit's home. I mean, we got in there late, about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like 6 foot, 14 stone, 6 foot. We'd just gone in the door, everything was black. With a new place, you've got to find your lights, you've got to find where you are. Went up this little staircase, which was to the bedroom, and I got about 4 treads down from the top of the stairs, and I hit my head on the ceiling, which was all concrete. And the bedroom upstairs, I swear, if you tried to sit up in the bed, you would have hit. Well, I would have hit my head certainly. And to my left-hand side, if I can sort of describe this picture, if you can get it, was this very, very flimsy sort of 2x2 timber, timber framed balustrade, which wouldn't have stopped me if I'd have rolled out of bed. That's for sure. And so we got. It's a lady. Yeah, she said, is there a problem? I said, well, look, I said, the problem is, I said, I'm a human, not a hobbit. I said, we can't do this. So they put us somewhere else anyway. But that was the hobbit place. They have them in Spain too,
Very cool.
Yeah, I normally fall asleep in Lord of the Rings.
Well, I tell you what, maybe you and I will go out and have a few, you know what I mean? And Barbara.
Yes, yeah.
Because about an hour and a half away from where we are right here at this office is the original Hobbiton, the set, the Hobbiton and Middle Earth, and well, it's Matter actually. We call it Matter, but apparently that doesn't matter. Well, they're kind of familiar. The security there is kind of familiar with me. I'm kind of about shenanigans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so security don't let me in anymore. So I've got to get Barbara to take everybody through there. But a lot of fun. Are you familiar with the Zorb?
The Zorb?
Yeah.
No idea what the Zorb is.
Okay, well, this is a bit, plenty of alcohol, believe me. We'll probably be doing that while the girls are looking at the hobbit holes and hobbit trees and all that. We'll go to Rotorua and get on the source, and then we'll go and find a Zorb. Now, this is a big, round, clear plastic ball. And we put you in it and push you down a hill. Just roll you down a hill. Yep. Lots and lots.
Before or after the alcohol?
Before. During would be funny to watch. After as well.
Yeah, a blast, yeah.
Yeah, but, well, it's got a bit of moisture in there anyway. It doesn't matter if you add to it. We've got a hose.
I'm sure it'll have moisture in it when we get to the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason why I'm advocating a bit of alcohol is literally, we'll put runners in front of you. And, well, as you run over their faces, the looks are priceless, really. They are. I do this a lot, I really do. And love to have a good time with the Zorb. We'll send you videos, believe me. At the same time, just up the road is the, well, you're familiar with Yellowstone National Park in the United States, the geysers and the bubbly muds and stuff like that?
Yes.
Right, we have a whole city of that. It's called Rotorua. It's only about an hour away from where we are right now. And take you back in time, literally, to when the dinosaurs walked around and when the indigenous folks, they'll teach you how to cook in these hot pools and all sorts of things. Absolutely stunning. It's fun. It really is. And I promise you I won't put you in a grass skirt.
Oh, yes. You can. I want to learn the haka. What's the haka?
Okay.
The haka.
The haka. The
Yeah.
rugby haka. I want to learn one of those.
Well, okay, that's easy enough to do. We'll teach you that for sure. And you never know, we might actually get a couple of All Blacks to teach it to you.
Well, that would be really cool. That would, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of friends of mine that are former All Blacks, I've got to be honest with you. And I'm sure they would love to teach you how to play, how to do the haka, really.
Fantastic.
We have a couple of versions of it, you know, one for peacetime war and then one for real-time war. You know, so we have the one for the English and then we have the one for the Australians. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Dear. But I'll tell you what, we only just lost the World Cup just because of an act of nature, I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We were the world champions until we went to Tokyo, and of course they had a big typhoony come hurricane thing, and then it came down to points, and of course South Africa took it out. But, you know, otherwise we would have still been world champions. Unlike Australia, that hasn't lifted the cup for, well, 30 odd years.
Yeah.
No silverware there, I got to be honest.
No, that's right. The shelf's a bit empty.
Well, I think it's a long time coming, actually. Which is a damn good segue to tell me about the song. Long time
I
coming.
like the way you did that, Grom.
Thank you.
I like the way you did that. That was slick.
Thank you. Tell me all about a long time coming.
A long time coming. I wrote that one while I was over there. I noticed we didn't get too much time outside of studio, and most of the time was inside. But a couple of times we did go out. We had a little drive round into downtown, and I sort of know I observed that every corner, or most corners in the street we were passing, were churches. There were crosses. You know, it's a very I think they call it the Bible Belt, don't they? You know, it's quite a religious place to be. And I just had some lyrics sort of floating around, and I mean, anyone who listened to it, they could probably take it as quite a religious song. You know, religious meaning. Which is the reason why I put "Thank You, My Lord." I included the lyric "Lord" in there to sway it towards these places in Fort Worth while I was over there. So that was written really quick while I was over there. Long time coming. I thank you, my Lord. Yeah, it's sort of someone. It's based on a person who's let's say been a bit of a tearaway. And is a reformed baddie, if you know what I'm saying, and that's really where it comes. I haven't got a clue where you know that was from. Yeah. But that's where it comes from.
I got to be honest with you. The wife is nodding like crazy, going, "That's all about you because you are a reformed bad boy." As far as I'm telling you. Gary Porter. Gary Porter joins us live here at Galaxy 107 FM. A long time coming. Ah, dear. It's true though, isn't it? How you feeling, Gary? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm absolutely fine.
Nice. We've got one more to go, winners and losers, and then we can send you off to bed for a snooze.
Yeah, no worries. That's good.
Awesome. And love to the wife too. Thank you for allowing you to stay up as late as you are.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, so I'll tell her in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Go and buy us some vegan sausages.
Yeah, I will. Or a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, freshly ground Irishman. Love it. I tell you what I miss is the underground, going on the tube over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to love travelling on the tube.
It's the hustle and bustle, isn't it, London? Was you over here for long?
I was there for about almost 12 months.
Oh, right. So you had a good look round then.
Yeah. Believe me, mate. I used to hang out with the Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and
Neil Tennant, was it?
yeah.
Neil. I know.
Yeah, they took me and showed me what the West End Girls was about. I'm not kidding, they really did.
Okay.
Yeah, believe me, I had a great time with those guys. So, but I've got cousins over there. You see, my mother was Scottish by birth.
Okay.
And I've got cousins over there. I don't know whether you remember the Reed brothers.
That wouldn't be the Walk 500 Miles from Famous.
That's them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Believe me, we got fame in our family.
Wow. What, they're your cousins, you say?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
But you must be well proud, very proud. I went to see him about... where did I go to see him? I went to see him at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago now. And it was stonking.
Yeah.
It was absolutely great. The thing I love about them is that their range of music, you've got these two sort of Glaswegian
nerds,
hard-nut guys, and they sing a song, Sunshine on Leith, that'll melt your heart like that, you know?
Exactly.
And it's the way they deliver it. I love this stuff. I really do. And we had a great concert, went to see him. There was grandparents and kids, and they're all singing the songs, you know, especially when the 500 Miles one come on. You know, you imagine everyone jumping up and down. And they hadn't changed a bit, you know. I would take my hat off to them. I think they're great. Yeah.
They're on my mother's side, those guys, and I've met them a number of times. While I was in England, we got into trouble. In fact, they got me arrested.
That doesn't surprise me.
Apparently, it's a family tradition. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 20 after 12 o'clock, it is 18 degrees. That's my prediction anyway. Went past it, but I'm going to win it anyway, even though Barbara did win. Friday, yeah, we're right, Friday, August 21st, and I'm joined live, coming out of the UK this morning, by Gary Porter. And Gary, it's nice to have you on the same day as us right now, to be very honest with you. I talked to so many people, and they're so yesterday. You know what I mean?
So last week, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, we're on the same time now. We're on the same day. That's cool.
Yeah, it was nice of you to stay up and join us. Believe me, it doesn't go unsaid that we very much appreciate it. We really, really do. But
That's not bad.
we usually have a joke with the Canadians, the Americans, and everybody else over the other time zones. You know, we play tomorrow's music today. And they go,
That's the one,
yeah, oh, I get it. It's like, it took a while though, didn't it?
Well, I'm in it. It's like I'm in this diner just here. If you can see behind me, it's almost daylight outside, isn't it?
It kind of is. It almost is. I'm just waiting for the porter, the young maitre d' to come along.
Well, when we went in there, the first time, this is a quick funny story, but the first time we ever came in this place that I'm sitting in now, myself, Pete Thompson, and Rodney Pyatt, guitarist, the three of us are wired the same as you and I, let's say, okay? We're wired in the same manner. So we were dead starving, wanted to go into this diner. So we've gone into the diner. Now this diner in front of me on the screen would probably sit, I don't know, probably 60, 70 people, something like that. There was one couple on the right-hand side, taking up one table. We burst through the door and said to the waitress there, have you got a table for 3, please? She said, come this way. She took us to the podium where she had the book. She said, I'll just have a look, she said, to see if we can fit you in. And the place was empty. There was just one couple on the right-hand side. So with that, she said, okay, that's fine. Yes, I can fit you in. She said, that's great. Then she proceeded then to walk us up and down and up and down and up and down to this table. We must have walked around the restaurant about 4 times. Eventually got to this table. And the 3 of us being a bit hyperactive and a bit what have you, we both sort of looked at each other. We were all laughing at that point. All grabbed a chair and dragged it, but we was all taking chairs from 3 different tables, if that makes sense. And the poor girl then didn't know where she was. You know, it was just it was a hoot. It was funny.
Believe me, I've been to a few restaurants where I've actually had the chef throwing conniptions in the kitchen. Yeah, no, send it back. Not good enough. No, go on, send it back. I want it done this way. Yeah, believe me.
I was there, very lucky, very fortunate at the time I was there, because I actually met Ginger. She must be around 80 something now. Mm-hmm. And she would have been, like I was telling you earlier about the old Al Capone days and them guys. The place has been there since then, and she used to serve all those type of people. And she still goes there. She still works. It's a very family orientated place, and quite well known in Fort Worth, you see. Right. And I was just fortunate enough to meet her. You know, Pete introduced me to her. He knew her, and it was great. She's a lovely lady, anyway. So
nice. Believe me, restaurants and places like that. Well, you see, my mother was a professional chef. She was the leading chef for Bellamy's, which is the restaurant where all the parliamentarians, the politicians, go and dine every day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So she was right up there in the status of cooking stuff. And she used to give me tips on, you know, how to treat the chef. You know what I mean? If you ever want a good laugh, attack the chef. Send stuff back and continue to send it back. You know, there was an advert in the newspaper once upon a time that when I was dating my wife at the time, we decided that we wanted to have a bit of a giggle. So it was we just picked up the local newspaper, went through the wanted ads. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And there was a thing in the wanted ads for a restaurant that wanted waiters. So we decided, yeah, that's a bit of us. So we went off to this place, sat down, maitre d' comes over and goes, can I help you? You know, and we went, no, yeah, we'll be fine, we'll get to you soon. About an hour later, the person is getting rather anxious about us now, you know what I mean? And no, it's all right, you know. In the end, about 2.5 hours later, the management comes out and goes, what are you doing? Well, yeah, we got this newspaper that says you want waiters. We've been here for about 2.5 hours. Did we get the job? We got a free meal.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
We really did. But that was just the kind of thing that we would do, you know. You would have a look through, you know, people want kind of things. Okay, we can fit that, but we can make it funny. You know what I mean?
That's the one. Yeah, keep them laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you're not going to get free stuff, really, are you?
Absolutely not.
So we used to do stuff like that. Well, you know, it could be somebody's got to win, and somebody's got to, could be winners and losers here.
I love that. I tell you what, you're my new hero, Grant. That was so slick. That was great. There are winners and losers.
There are.
Before I met you, Bert Mon, you know Bert Monroe, didn't you?
Yes.
The Indian.
Yes.
The film, I think Andy Hopkins, one of my heroes. I think you've become a new hero now.
No, thank you. Thank you. Believe me, I was trying to explain to these guys, 6 years ago, Robin Williams, of course, passed away, right?
Yeah.
On the 11th of August, only a few days and 6 years ago. And I was trying to explain to them how that man scared the living hell out of every radio announcer in the world when he brought out Good Morning Vietnam. right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, now that, and I've got to be honest with you, I've been dubbed the New Zealand modern-day godfather of radio. I've lived long enough to be old now. But they still call me Good Morning Vietnam. They do. They really do. But I want to know about winners and losers because, believe me, my friend, this is one of my favourite Gary Porter songs. Tell me all about it.
Well, again, it was put together quite about, I think about 6 months. 6 months before I went to Fort Worth, and it's sort of about life's journey, really, winners and losers. I mean, you know, yeah, some people are very privileged, things fall in their lap. Some people have to work really hard for stuff. Some people lose, some people win, you know, and it's that champion-esque thing as well. I'm really into my boxing and that. I've loved that since I was younger, and it was that winning and losing, the ultimate. There's a difference between champions and the normal people. A champion can always go up a gear and dig on reserve, and that's what makes them champions. And that was the inspiration behind this one regarding winners or losers. The lyrics are pretty self-explanatory in it, but that was the feeling behind the song. And yeah, it's just, I don't get attached to my songs, you see, and I'm sure a lot of people that you interview may say the same. They may not. I know some guys, some musicians, some songwriters that are very attached to their stuff, very precious, and they don't like sharing stuff. To me, once that envelope's gone, man, I don't care. You know, if someone else wants to use it, that's great by me. If someone else wants, and so, you know, with this one, I say it's very much about that. You know, it's winning or losing, and that's the fine margins. You know, in anything in life, as well as sport. So. It's quite a vagueness to it in terms of it can apply to people in different situations, whether that be sport, life, what have you. That's what I try to do. Try to apply to the masses.
I got to be honest with Gary, I love this track, I really, really do. So, live,
so
joined by Gary Porter himself, is Winners and Losers here at Galaxy. I really do, Gary. I absolutely look. I love your style. I love your music. I love everything about it. And I'm hoping that you'll come back again and release some more stuff with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly will. Yeah. I mean, I have stuff on the burner all the time, and I'll certainly do that, Grant. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. I think we're in for a long relationship, you and I, my friend.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to get over there. I'd love to come over and see us.
Well, young John is, you know, he does shows and everything over there, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's wanting to break into the New Zealand market, which we are assisting him with. Barbara manages Aurora Entertainments, which brings bands into the country, does shows here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
yeah.
John wants to sort of break into the New Zealand market. And I said to him, you know, it would be great if we could get Galaxy artists over here. So I've introduced him to a number of our artists, and he thinks it's a great idea. Now that you've done an interview with us, you're a Galaxy artist. You know what I mean? You played on our radio station. We would love to have you over here. Maybe we.
Hey,
could...
we're on the magazine. Don't forget, we're on the first edition.
You too. Nice. I'm looking forward to actually reading that. I really am. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear here, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh. So I don't see, if I'm on the front cover, I don't see too many copies being sold if it's hard copy. That's the best way to frighten people off right from the start. I got the perfect face for radio. Having said that, I read here somewhere about radio as well. You had a friend of yours on radio, in the BBC, Paul Jones.
Yeah, Paul Jones, yeah. I was on the... that was for an album I did... I'll send you a copy over. It's an album called Can't Keep Still. And we were in Barcelona, me and Suze, we were in Barcelona one time, staying at this hotel, and then it was on the Paul Jones show. Suddenly they started playing it, and then eventually ended up the interview on that. It was quite nice at BBC. There's a few artists. I did most of the BBC stations over here in England.
Nice.
And Radio 2 being one of them, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he seemed to like the stuff at the time. He's no longer there now. He's moved on. I think he's concentrating on his band, the blues band. You know, they go around and play quite a bit now. So he's no longer with the BBC, but they have a bit of a shuffle round every now and again, if you know what I mean. So,
nice. Well, I got to be honest with you. Barbara and I are both members of the Bay of Plenty Blues Association. So.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, you know, I play the top of the pops, the old school stuff. I hear it every day. Blues is a bit of me, you know what I mean? And especially the blues, the soul, the fringes of jazz thrown in there as well. Believe me, I pick up on that. I love that. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. Well, I'll send you them over. We got transfers good, eh? Because you can send the whole album on and download it in your time. What have you? You know, I think it's there for about 7 days, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You just put it in your, you know, wherever, keep it. So I'll send the album. I'll send you Can't Keep Still and Stone Chucker over.
Nice.
If you want them both at the same time, if it's too much, then I'll just send one.
Yeah, please do that, but send them to Barbara. That way,
Yeah,
I'll get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem.
Nice. We're going to wind this up right now, but don't go anywhere just yet. We do a couple of things afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Cool. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 26 away from 1 o'clock. I know we've gone over a little bit, but hey, you know, that happens. It is 20 degrees downtown. Barbara won again today. Had to happen, didn't it? Friday, August 21st, and I've been joined live, coming out of, well, just out of London actually, in the UK. Yeah, British Isles, by Gary Porter. Now, Gary, got to ask you, after putting yourself through this, will you come back again?
I would love to. It'll be a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the bungees, the witchetty grubs, the pushing out on the chair thing, the whole game thing. Yeah, it would be lovely. Would love to come back.
I got to ask you though, Gary, how are you at throwing the arrows?
Not bad. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give some people a run for their money. That sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm kind of thinking, you know, while the girls are at the Hobbiton or shopping, maybe you and I.
I like your style, Grant. I really like your style. I think we got a good game plan here. Yeah, this will work.
Maybe you and I, we can throw a few arrows, have a few pints, or maybe a few jugs, sink a few black balls on the table as well. You know, just get together and completely.
You know, they say the black balls game on the table, that's a sign of a misspent youth. So I reckon we'll have a good game, won't we?
Believe me, I'm not bad at putting a black ball down. I've told a few of them in their time that their mother is ugly. Happens. It really does. Gary Porter, thank you so much for joining us, for staying up as late as this to be able to talk to us here in the Antipodes in New Zealand. We'd love to have you back again. Got to thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure. It really has. And I'd like to say thanks very much to yourself and the lovely Barbara as well. And of course to all your listeners. I'd like to thank all your listeners, all personally, one by one. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you like the stuff you've heard. And hope you'll be listening to it in the future. And have a great weekend, all of you.
I'm sure they will be if they're listening to Galaxy 107 FM, and believe me, you're going to sell a few T-shirts, that's for sure. But Gary, got to move on. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And for you guys that have joined us live today, if you're going to watch us again on, of course, YouTube, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, tinkle that bell, you know what for. Thank you so much. You're right here at Galaxy.
Kawarau 107. Galaxy FM.